Hare. Upasanatanaya bhuyavu Sriji. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Kiba Jaya. Janavita Tavani Jagamana Loba Jaga Jana Mana Loba Tai Chan Bame Kadahara Kiba Nikate Advaita Srini Vasachatradara Kibabosi Achi Gorachan Ratna Simasani Rati Korina Brahma Adi Devagani Kibanarari Adi Kori Chamaradulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Gochari Gaya. One more thing.
Hot one. Yeah, I will break it. Yeah, I can help with mridanga also. If they want, I can help with mridanga.
Gorangiraroti Shobha Jaga Janamana Loba Gorantera Gorantera Roti Shobha Jaga Janamana Loban Shanka Baje Ganta Baje Madur 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 Baje Shanka Shanka Baje Ganta Baje Madur 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 Baje Ka Maru 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 Baje Ki Baba Ho Kote Chandra Jini Vadana Yuvala Ki Baba Ho Gala de se banamala Kori jalamala Ki Baba Ho Kote Sandrajini Sorry Siva Sukha Narada Preme Gada Gada Kiba Narada Bakati Vinoda Deke Gorara Sampada Nama Om Vishnu Paraya Krishna Prisaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namah Daya Krishna Prisaya Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namaste Saraswati Deve Kauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paskyatare Satarine Namaste Kauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Jaya Radha, Shama Sundar Radha, Shama Sundar Sri Radhe, Jaya. Jaya Radha, Shama Sundar Radha, Shama Sundar Sri Radhe, Jaya Radha. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Sri Radhe Jaya Radha. Jaya 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 Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Jaya Mahaprabhu Jaya Mahaprabhu Jaya Mahaprabhu Jaya Mahaprabhu Jaya. Jaya 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 Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya 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 Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gora Hari Bol Nitai Gora. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ya Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parvacharya. Asotara His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Vishnupad Pratibhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj ki jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnava ki jai. Namachari Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gauravidya ki jai. Sri Radha Shama Sundar ki jai. Sri Radha Madhava ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Premanande. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Hare Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralada Ladadayende. Hiranyakashipu Raksha. Sirata Kana Kalaye. Ito Nishimo Parato Nishimo. Yato Yato Ya Vidato Nishimo. Nishimo Hela Nishimo Hela Nara Sri Mamadev Sharana Prapade. Nara Sri Mamadev Sharana Prapade. Nara Avtara Kamala Varena Kam Abhuta Sringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Bringa Kesavare Tanarare Lopa Jai Jagadi Sarare Jai Jagadi Sarare Jai Jagadi Sarare Narari Rupa Jai Jagadish Harare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jayana Swingare Jayana Swingare Jayana Swingare Jayana Swingare Jaya 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 Narada Hare 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 Jaya Jaya Sri Ram Jaya Narada Jaya Narada Jaya Narada Jaya Narada Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya 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 Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jai Jai Singare Bhagavan Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Gaura Premanande Hari Bol
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. On behalf of ISKCON founder Acharya, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, I would like to welcome all of you to ISKCON Naperville. Can all the men come this way and face the speaker, and everybody can come closer, because I think most devotees have gone for Ratha Yatra and have not come back yet. So it will be nice if everybody comes closer. Is there anyone here for the first time in ISKCON Naperville? So please see me before you leave. We have a small gift for you. Today, I am so very happy that we have with us His Holiness Chandra Mouli Swami Maharaj. Please give Maharaj a warm welcome. And I'll give a very brief bio. His Holiness Chandra Mouli Swami Maharaj is a disciple of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and he is an initiating spiritual master within ISKCON. And for decades, Maharaj has traveled extensively, inspiring many devotees through his presentations on Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna consciousness, and practical devotional life. He is especially appreciated for his deep realization, humility, and ability to make spiritual teachings accessible and relevant to the devotees of all backgrounds. And for those of you who are living here in Naperville, you may not be so aware of who His Holiness Chandra Mouli Swami Maharaj is. I have lived here over 30 plus years, and I have known Maharaj like more than 30 years ago when he was always present in Chicagoland area doing his preaching services. And so many years have passed. Maharaj is traveling all over the world preaching, and today being Rath Yatra and the special occasion, Maharaj just is coming back from attending Rath Yatra, and he's here with us, and we are all very fortunate to have him with us in Naperville. It's a very, very rare occasion, and we are very grateful to Maharaj for coming to ISKCON Naperville. Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Suswagatam. So, there's a beautiful bhajan. It's sung quite often in our temples. This bhajan happens to be one of the favorites of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. In fact, he asked that this bhajan be played just during his disappearance from this world. We all know it. It is called Nama Kirtana, and we know it as Yasomati Nandana. So if you don't know the words, you can look on your phone. It's called Nama Kirtana. I think that's the way it's described. Okay? It's a beautiful bhajan. And it's simply the names of Krishna in Vrindavan. Yasomati Nandana Rajabaranadara Gokula Ranjana Kahanha Yasomati Nandana Rajavadhanagara Gokuranjana Mahanayasa Bhotitvaranandanam Bhattanam Manoharam Bhotitvaranandanam Bhattanam Manoharam Kaliyadamadavitana Kaliyadamadavitana Hamala Harina Amiya Vilasata Hamma Harina Amiya Vilasata Vipina Purandara Navinanagara Bhara Vamsi Vadana Suvaha Vamsi Vadana Hey, hey, Hamala Harinam Hamiya Vilasa Vipina Purandar Navinana Garavara Bham Sivadana Subhasa. Hey, Rajajana Fan, Sudakulan Hasana, Sudakulan. Hey, Rajajana Fan, Sudakulan Hasana. Nanda Godana Rakuara. Hey, Nanda Godana Rakuara. Govinda Madhava Navarita Taskara. Govinda Madhava Navarita Taskara. Sundar Nanda Gopala. Sundar Nanda Gopala. Oh, Jamuna Tapta Chara Gopi Vasanora. Jamuna Tapta Chara Gopi Vasanora. Rasa Rasika Kripa Moya. Hey, Rasa Rasika Kripa Moya. Hey, Sierra Vala, Vindavana Nathavada. Sierra Vala, Vindavana Nathavada. Sierra Vala, Vindavana Nathavada. Bhakti Vinoda Sraya. Hey, Shila Bhakti Vinoda Sraya. Hey, Yasomati Nandana Rajavardhanagara Gokula Ranjana Kanai. Jose. Hamala Harinam Hamiyavi Rasa. Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Whoop. Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara. Sri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Nathabharati. Sri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Nathabharati. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Thai Gaur Hari Bol, Har Haribo. Yasomati Nandana Brajabara Nagara Gokula Ranjana. I'm not coming. His mother calls him. He wants to play. He doesn't want to eat. It's a beautiful bhajan. It was sung often by the devotees who first came in contact with Srila Prabhupada. And it's just simply the names of Krishna and Vrindavan and his different pastimes. It's a beautiful meditation on the Lord and his transcendental activities. So this is a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, third chapter. If you can put it up on the board, that would also be nice. And it's verse number 17. The title of the chapter is called Pure Devotional Service. There's quite an echo here. Yeah. Is the sound going up and not going here? Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay? It's clear? It's not, doesn't sound like we're in a rock and roll concert, is it? Okay. All right, let's see. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to ask you to repeat. It's this, as I mentioned, from the third chapter of the second canto. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, so let's see if you can follow along. It doesn't seem like there's a board for it. It's second canto, third chapter, verse 17. Ayur haranti vaipumsam yudyat astam chayanaso tasyate tayatshano nita uttama sloka vartaya ayur haranti vaipumsam yudyanastam chayanaso tasyate yatshano nita uttama sloka vartaya. Someone want to chant? One from the men's side. So go right into the translation. Both by rising and by setting, the sun decreases the duration of life of everyone, except one who utilizes the time by discussing topics of the all-good personality of Godhead. Please repeat. Both by rising and the setting, the sun decreases the duration of life of everyone, except one who utilizes the time by discussing topics of the all-good personality of Godhead. It's a long purport, but I'll read just part of it. This verse indirectly confirms the great importance of utilizing the human form of life to realize our lost relationship with the Supreme Lord by acceleration of devotional service. Time and tide wait for no man. So the time indicated by the sunrise and the sunset will be usually wasted if such time is not properly utilized for realizing identification of spiritual values. Even a fraction of the duration of life wasted cannot be compensated by any amount of gold. Human life is simply awarded to a living entity so that he can realize his spiritual identity and his permanent source of happiness. A living being, especially the human being, is seeking happiness because happiness is the natural situation of the living entity. But he is vainly seeking happiness in the material atmosphere. A living being is constitutionally a spiritual part of the complete whole, and his happiness can be perfectly perceived in spiritual activities. The Lord is the complete spiritual whole, and his name, form, qualities, pastimes, entourage, and personality are all identical with him. Once a person comes in contact with any of the above-mentioned energies of the Lord, through the proper channel of devotional service, the door to perfection is immediately opened. In the Gita, the Lord has explained such contexts in the following word. Endeavors in devotional service are never baffled, nor is there failure. A slight beginning of such activities is sufficient even to deliver a person from the great ocean of material fears. As a highly potent drug injected intravenously acts upon once the whole body, the transcendental topics of the Lord injected through the ear of a pure devotee of the Lord can act very efficiently. Oral reception of the transcendental message implies total realization, just as fructification of one part of the tree implies fructification of all the other parts. This realization for a moment in the association of pure devotees like Sukadeva Goswami prepares one's complete life for eternity. As thus the sun fails to rob the pure devotee of his duration of life, inasmuch as he is constantly busy in devotional service to the Lord, purifying his existence. And here's an interesting statement. Death is a symptom of the material infection of the eternal living being. Only due to material infection is the living entity subjected to the laws of birth, death, old age, and disease. So I'll stop there. Omagyan, Mirandasya, Ganajana, Salakaya, Chaksu Unmilitam Yena, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha, Sri Chaitanya Manobistam, Stapitam Yena Bhutale, Swayam Rupa Kadammayam Dadati Swam Padanti. Nama Om Vishnu Padayam Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pastyatya Desatarine Vancha Kalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So the nature of the absolute truth, that is, the nature of the personality of Godhead, is transcendental to everything material. In other words, everything about the absolute truth has no material contamination, no material connection. His name is Him. His form is Him. His pastimes, in whatever realm he performs his pastimes, whether in this realm, and when he comes to this material world, or when he performs his pastimes in the spiritual, or wherever, they are also none different than him. His qualities, his entourage, his abode, the absolute nature of the spiritual realm is completely opposite of everything in this material world. We define things in this material world according to its opposite. We can understand something based on its opposite. You can't understand what is cold unless you have an experience of what is warmth, evil, good, whatever opposite, whatever aspect you see, there is a concomitant opposite of that, and it helps to define that element. But in the spiritual world, there's no opposite. Everything is absolute. It's pure. It's in its pure spiritual nature. So things in relationship to itself are also the same as itself. For instance, in the Padma Purana, which is one of the most important of all of the Puranas to support spiritual principles, it says, Nama Chintamani Krishnas, Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, Purnya Sudya Nitya Mukta, Abhinna Tvam Nami Namino. So the word abhinna is very significant in this verse. Abhinna means same. Abhinna means different, And abhinna means not different or the same. And then it says Nami and Nam. So the name of Krishna is Krishna. No difference. If Krishna were to come in the form of his name, which he does, he descends Kali Kale, Nama Rupa, Krishna avatar. So he comes in this transcendental form. That form, although it's a sound vibration, is the same as Krishna. In other words, if you were to associate with Krishna in any one of the aspects of the absolute nature, it's the same in all respects. His name, his forms, his qualities, pastimes, entourage, everything about the absolute truth is transcendental to this material world. Even when Krishna comes to this material world, sometimes unscrupulous commentators like to say that Krishna takes on a material body. But that's because they see in a limited way. And sometimes the material body, or what Krishna's body is, it has similar activities of those bodies that we have in this material world. But it's not the same. It is completely transcendental and spiritual. So when we connect with Krishna, and here's the point, this is what this verse is saying, we also develop some of the same qualities. And as that connection becomes increased, and when it becomes more and more increased, we free ourselves from all material definitions, connections, and what we say, infections. Infections means we don't get affected by what happens on this material level. And this is what this verse is saying. The sun comes up every morning and it disappears. Actually, the sun does not rise and set. And that's just a statement in order to describe the movement of the sun. But actually, the sun never sets, the sun never rises. It's always in its natural orbit. And from our perspective, we see it as rising and setting. Just like when a cloud covers the sun, we say it's a cloudy day. But the sun is never covered by the cloud because clouds can't cover the sun. But from our perspective, we can't perceive the benefit of the sun's appearance due to the cloud. So in the same way, this material energy seems to block, which is never blocked, the nature of the absolute truth, which is always transcendental and always fully prominent. So what this verse is saying here, the sun rises, the sun sets, and we calculate days, nights, and durations based on the movement of the sun. But what does it do? When we're born, we have so much time in this material world. It's already given to us by our previous karma. We have so many breaths allowed to us in this particular life, and our destiny is already planned out. But we can change our destiny simply by rising above that destiny, by connecting with that spiritual energy. So here it mentions how to connect to that spiritual energy, by glorifying the all-good personality of Godhead. Satam prasangam mama virya samvido bhavanti rit karna rasayana kata. So this kata, this talking, this discussion about the name, fame, form, qualities of the absolute truth is rasayana, sweet. It's nectar. Where is the nectar mentioned? It awakens one's attraction for the Lord, and at the same time it purifies the heart. Rit karna. Karna means ear. So when we hear and chant the glories of the Lord, we are actually moving into the transcendental platform. And what this verse says is you're no longer affected by the movements of the material energy. In other words, you become transcendental. So that word transcendental means, trans means above, dental means material. One becomes above the material energy, which is consisting of the three modes of material nature, which governs all activities in this material world according to the desires and activities of the living entities. But one who hears and chants the glories of the Lord is no longer influenced by the element of time. Is that amazing? Time no longer has an effect on that living entity when they connect with that principle of timelessness. Krishna is above time. Krishna is actually the author of time. Time is his energy that moves things in this material world. He is not under the influence of time. He controls time. His time is meant to help the material energy. It's a feature of the material energy which brings things about, moves things along, and then it gradually decreases things, and then these things ultimately vanish in due course of time. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead is above time. He's the author of time. So when, as we mentioned, the absolute nature of any of the activities of the Lord is of the same nature of the Lord. So when we hear and chant, especially it's mentioned, the glories of the Lord, we become immune to the movements of the material energy. In other words, we develop some of the same qualities of Krishna. And when that activity becomes concentrated or regulated, or regular, you might say, then one is no longer affected by the movements. So here it says, of course, rising and setting of the sun calculates the days, but not for a devotee, not for one who hears and chants the glories of the Lord. Now, people say, well, you say that, but you also die. No, we don't die. The devotees don't die. They simply move from one place to another. That's all. Like you're in one room of your house and you change rooms, that doesn't mean you change. You just move from one section to the same. So a devotee becomes free from the influence of the time element, and when they connect with that which is above time, which is Krishna in the form of his activities, qualities, names, for anything about the absent. But here it's mentioning the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We have the example from the Srimad Bhagavatam. One great king, Maharaj Parikshit, he was cursed. He was a powerful king. He ruled the whole world. And he was also a devotee of the Lord. He had unrivaled sovereignty, military support, treasury was full, wonderful family. Everything about life was ideal. But somehow or other, there was a situation where he was cursed by a Brahmin boy, unfairly. Boy was only 12 years old, but the boy had Shakti. And he cursed his Maharaj Parikshit to die within 7 days. It's a long story. I can mention a little bit about it. Maharaj Parikshit was traveling through the kingdom, and he saw a hermitage. He happened to be a little thirsty. He was thinking of stopping there and getting some water. When he came in, the sage, Shamagrish, was sitting there in meditation. And he spoke to the rishi, asking for a glass of water. But the sage wasn't aware of the king's presence. He was in meditation. The king became a little bit, what we say, unhappy. So he took a stick and he saw a snake that was lying there, and he put it around the sage. He says, "Here's your garland." And his son, Shringi, found out about it. Shringi was only 12 years old, but he was born in a Brahmin family, and he had Brahma Tejas. In other words, he was powerful. So he cursed that king to die within 7 days. Now it's mentioned that Maharaj Parikshit, although he was cursed, he had the power to counteract the curse, because he was also a devotee of the Lord, and also very, very fully situated in devotional service. He ruled the kingdom by religious principles. He could have counteracted the curse, but he didn't. He took the opportunity. Here's a chance to go back to the spiritual world. Now I can accept this curse, give up all of my activities in this material world, and prepare myself to leave this material world. So he did that. He went to the bank of the Ganga River. Some people say Jamuna, Ganges. And he sat there and he started to fast until death. Sages came from all over the universe to see this king in his last moments. And many of them came to give advice on how he should carry out his final moments. And at one point, one great sage came, and he was only a young boy of 16 years. His name was Sukadeva Goswami. He came, and as soon as he came, all of the sages, many of them were much older than him, and were also very powerful. They all stood up, honoring his presence, and they gave him the seat of honor. They knew he was the most qualified. You speak. And then he started to speak, and he recommended that if you're going to leave the world, the best way to leave the world is to hear and chant the glories of the Lord. He accepted that as the ultimate principle, and he sat there for 7 days, listening to Sukadeva Goswami carefully narrating verse by verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, 18,000 verses. He was so absorbed in hearing, he didn't eat, he didn't sleep. He only wanted to hear more and more about the glories of the Lord. Of course, he was asking questions based on what he was hearing, and Sukadeva Goswami was answering. That's the Bhagavatam. After 6 days, he said to Sukadeva Goswami, Sukadeva Goswami said to him, "Maharaj, you want a little water?" He said, "This is what I've been waiting for," because he had narrated 9 cantos. Now he's about to begin the 10th canto, the pastimes of Krishna and Sri Vrindavan Dham. He said, "Continue." In other words, he only wanted to hear more. And so then Sukadeva Goswami, because when the audience wants to hear, the speaker becomes more enthusiastic to speak. It's kind of like that energy flows in that way. And so he became more enlivened, and he's really started to narrate with all his intelligence, with all his bhakti, the 10th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. After he had finished that, of course, he went on to finish the 11th canto, and then, of course, 12th canto. After everything was done, Maharaj Parikshit reached the point where he was completely fearless. He knew he didn't have much time left, but he had no fear of leaving the body. His death was not an easy death either. He was cursed to be bitten by a snake bird, a poisonous bird that had such powerful poison. It talks about it in another Shastra that Kashyapa Muni met this snake bird and he asked him, he said, "You have poison?" He said, "Yes." "Prove it to me." So the snake bird just looked at this tree from a distance and he burned it to ashes just by his glance. It was so powerful. So that was the same bird that was destined to bite Maharaj Parikshit. But he wasn't fearful at all, and he accepted it. And then, of course, that was carried out, and he went back home, back to the spiritual world. But he was actually fearless at the time of death. So death has no effect upon those who are on the transcendental platform. And here's how to get onto the transcendental platform. Hear and chant the glories of the Lord. Devotional service is made up of many activities, but the essence, and we put emphasis on this, the essence is to glorify the Lord, or to hear the glories of the Lord. This is the essence of Krishna consciousness, because hearing about Krishna and hearing those activities inspires the heart in devotional service, attracts one to Krishna, because all of Krishna's activities are transcendently attractive. The more we hear about it, just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was Krishna himself, but he was in the role of his own devotee. And he would go to the house of Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar Pandit was absorbed in reading Bhagavatam all the time. He loved Bhagavatam. His whole life was to speak Bhagavatam, to read Bhagavatam, to preach Bhagavatam. So Lord Chaitanya would come and sit there and say, "Can you narrate the activities of Dhruva Maharaj? Can you narrate the activities of Prahlad Maharaj?" And then Gadadhar Pandit would get excited and he would start reading. And Lord Chaitanya would just listen. And then he would narrate the whole pastime of Prahlad Maharaj, and then Lord Chaitanya would say, "Read it again." And then he would read it again. And then after he would finish it the second time, he'd read it again. And then it says, he would ask up to 100 times to read that same passage. Lord Chaitanya, of course, he's the Supreme Lord, but even he wanted to hear the glories of his pure devotees. How attractive he was to hear that also. And he's also teaching the process of how to become fully self-realized by hearing the glories of the Lord and then narrating those glories also. Shravanam leads to Kirtanam. Kirtanam brings you to Smarnam. Smarnam means to remember. And that is the process of bhakti. When we remember the Supreme Lord in his form, qualities, names, whatever aspect of the absolute truth is there, that remembrance is the perfection of bhakti. And then when it says here, when the time to give up this body, there is simply, death is not like, for the materialist, death is the greatest fear, and it's also sometimes very, very difficult. In other words, it can be extremely painful. What is the pain? The pain is material attachments. When you have no material attachments at the time of death, there's no pain. It says that just like you go to sleep at night and you wake up, similarly, death for a devotee is like going to sleep and then waking up in the spiritual world. But it's not that long. It's instantaneous. There's no time element that can measure how quickly that happens. It's mentioned in the fourth canto. It's instantaneous for those who are absorbed in hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, or have made their activities in this world. So that's the essence of the essence. And the acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Jiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami, what did they give us? Constantly the pastimes of the Lord, especially in Vrindavan Dham, which is the essence of all pastimes. I'll tell you a pastime. Would you like to hear one? You like You like stories about Krishna? This is what we're talking about anyway. So, all right. So, Krishna, as a little boy, he was what? He was called Makan Chor. Makan Chor. He's a thief. God's a thief. Lock him up. But lock him up in your heart so he can't get out. That's the best place. He likes that kind of jail. So he likes to steal butter. He's only a young boy. And so he lives in Vrindavan with his mother, Mother Yasoda, and they're cow herds. So they have a lot of cows. Nanda Maharaj, he had 900,000 cows. And Krishna has always had the best butter, the best milk products. But still, he would go to the other gopis' house and steal. Prabhupada said, where do you get that propensity to steal from? From Krishna. But when we do it, we get in trouble. When he does it, everyone enjoys it. So he would like to go to the other gopis. And it was one particular gopi. Her name was Prabhavati, her name was. He would always go to her house because she had the best butter, at least from Krishna's perspective anyway. And so one day she came to the house of Mother Yasoda and was complaining about Krishna. You know, your son, he always comes into my house, and when I'm not around, he just breaks the butter pot, eats the butter, makes a mess on the floor, and then he leaves. And then I can't catch him, but I know it's him. So I want you to punish him. Mother Yasoda says, no, we got really nice butter here. Krishna doesn't have to go anywhere else to steal. I think you're just making up these stories. You're imagining it's Krishna. So she couldn't convince Mother Yasoda. So she was thinking, I have to catch him. I'm going to catch him. So what she does now, there's a window that Krishna goes through. He climbs through this window. So she makes a plan. She puts bells on the window. And she's thinking, when he opens the window, I'll hear the bells and then I can catch him. But then she's thinking, but you know, maybe that's not enough. So she hangs the butter pot up high on the rafter and she puts bells on the butter pot. So now there's bells there. The whole thing is set. Krishna is walking along. His friend Madhu Mangal comes. Madhu Mangal is his friend. He's always making jokes. And he wants to get some reward for his jokes also. So he likes to eat ladus. And he makes a joke. And now he says, give me a ladu. And he, you know, I don't know if you were, when you were a kid, and if you put your hand like this and you go make that funny sound. So he does that, and everybody laughs, and then he says, give me a ladu. One time he said, you know, Krishna left at Govardhan Hill because I gave him Brahma Tejas. With my power that made Krishna live Govardhan Hill. So he makes jokes. So they're there. So Krishna says, hey, you know, this is the place where that butter is the best. And let's go. And Madhu says, but there's bells on the window. Krishna said, don't worry. Bells are my servants. Bells don't ring. So he orders the bells not to ring. So he lifts the window up. Bells are completely quiet. Goes inside. Now Krishna, he doesn't have a cell phone to light up everything. He's got this, you know, natural glow that comes from his body. He's walking through the house. It's kind of dark in there. And finally, him and Madhu come to the room where the butter is. And he says, hey, Madhu, there it is. Madhu says, there's bells on the pot. Krishna said, don't worry, bells are my servants. Bells don't ring. And then Krishna gets the chair, stands on the chair, reaches up, grabs the butter pipe. It's completely quiet. So now Krishna is really generous. So he takes some butter out and he gives it to Madhu. And then who comes? Who? The monkeys, headed by who? Dahi Loba. Dahi loba, greedy for dahi. So the monkeys come, they line up. Krishna's distributing butter to the monkeys. The monkeys are having fun. Now Krishna thinks, I'm going to try some. So he sticks his hand in the butter pot and he starts eating the butter. And guess what happens? Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. So let's go. So they run out the door. And outside, says, I thought you said the bells are not going to ring. He said, yeah, I don't know what happened. Well, then Krishna said, I'm going to find out. So he calls the demigod who's in charge of bells. And he comes, he's this big demigod, and he's dressed in bells. And he comes up to Krishna, my dear Lord, you called me. Yeah, I told you not to ring. He said, yes, that is true, but we also know that every time you eat, we have to ring. So Krishna is defeated. So now Krishna doesn't know. And then all of a sudden, Parvati comes out of the house. She grabs Krishna. I caught you, and I'm going to take you to Mother Yasoda. And she's going to punish you. And so then, but she's thinking, I have to walk past Nanda Maharaj, and he's so lenient. He never chastises or corrects Krishna. So I have to hide Krishna. So she takes her sari, puts it over Krishna's head, and she's holding his hand, walking with him like that. So she passes by Nanda, goes into the house. She says, hey, Mataji, I caught him. And she lifts up her sari, and Mother Yasoda starts laughing. He says, that's not my son, that's your son. Then she looks, and it's her own son. And Mother Yasoda said, that's all right. I know you've been churning too much butter, working too hard. Go home and rest. So now she's totally bewildered. She's walking out. Then Krishna comes running up to her after and says, next time you do that, I'm going to become your husband. So one thing we should learn from this pastime, if you're on Krishna's side, you never lose. He always comes out victorious in whatever he does. So these are one of the many pastimes. The acharyas have spent so much time, energy, and effort to give us these pastimes of the Lord. And they have realized these pastimes by the power of their own devotional service. Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, all of the Goswamis, along with many of the other great acharyas, has spent their whole life just giving us these pastimes of the Lord, especially in Sri Vrindavan Dham. So to take advantage of these things means to go to the transcendental platform. To hear and chant the glories of the Lord means to free oneself from the effects of this material energy. As we explained, when you become connected to something above the transcendental platform, you also become transcendental. That means the material energy doesn't work upon you. You may seem like it from the external point, but so therefore devotees don't die. They simply leave one energy area and go to another. In other words, they continue whatever they're doing in another place, and it's called transmigration of the soul. And when that transmigration comes to the platform of pure devotional service, and as Krishna says, Taktva deham purna janmani naiti mameti sarjana. You don't come back to this material world, and again, you attain my eternal abode in the spiritual world. And that's the goal. The goal is to stop this cycle of birth and death. Maya lavache, kacho bese, kacho ha vubu dubai. And then the rest goes, Jeev Krishna Das, Vishwas, Kolena Adukanai. Life after life, we have been going from one body to another. This is not our first sojourn in this material world. Life after life, 8 million species of life, when you come to the human form of life that's mentioned here, how important the human form of life is. And to waste it by simply carrying out the affairs of the material body is the greatest form of loss. Because to get a human body is not so easy. We might think, oh yes, we're human beings, there's so many human beings. But how many living entities are there? Millions, billions, and the humans are in the smallest number, really. So to get a human form of life, and especially to be born in Bharatvarsya, the land of Punya Bhumi, that is a very rare birth. That means it doesn't take much from that point of view to make it to the spiritual world. It's a very, what we say, elevated birth in this world. So we should take advantage of that and simply see what is our best interest. Simply to find success in material activities means to ultimately simply struggle hard to something you have to lose anyway. That's all. Whatever we have, it's all going to be gone in this time. But whatever we do in devotional service, especially when it's centered around Krishna and glorifying a Krishna, it's the eternal bank account. It stays with you forever. It's never lost. Even if you have to come back to another life, you don't begin from zero. You begin from where you are. In other words, if you become 50%, 60% Krishna consciousness, in your next life, Krishna will arrange for you to start where you left off and then move forward. Of course, it's a risk to come back in this material world, because Prabhupada would say, whatever's stopping you from going back to the spiritual world in this life will also be there next life. You have to overcome that same manartha, that same spiritual, that same material block. So Prabhupada said, don't waste time, finish up. And it's easy. Lord Chaitanya has made it easy. Chant the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. This chanting Golokera, Premadana, Harinam Sankirtan Ratin Jan Milo Kene Upai, it's not part of this material world. It's coming from the spiritual world into the hearts of the pure devotees who take that and distribute it everywhere as their compassionate mood to uplift the conditioned souls in this material world. They are the well-wishers of everyone. And they're relegated to do that service on behalf of the Lord. So there's chanting. Of course, that's the essence of all the activities. But Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's activities, Krishna's qualities, all of these are transcendentally sweet. They're sweet, they're nectar. The more one hears these things, of course, maybe at the beginning it seems like, okay, well, it's like that. But if you continue to hear about these things, it's like the example is given. If you have a disease, in particular jaundice is a disease of the liver, where one cannot taste something sweet as sweet. Sweetness to a jaundice person tastes bitter. So one of the cures, or actually the actual cure for jaundice, is sugarcane, the sugarcane juice. But when you take it, you have jaundice, it tastes bitter. And then so the medicine seems bitter, but actually it's not. So as you continue to hear and chant the glories of the Lord, that sweetness starts to manifest, and it becomes more and more. And the disease of material attachment, material affection, that means of how we're affected by this material energy, gradually starts to dissipate. And after some time, it's gone completely. And one is susukam kartamavliyam. One is tasting happiness at every moment. Everyone wants happiness. Here's where you can find it. You try to find it in the material world, you can't find it. Why? Because because it's not there. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, this material world is dukhalayam asasratam. It's temporary and it's full of misery. Even if you can fulfill your desires in this material world, time will take everything away anyway. And the more successful you are materially, the more you suffer when you lose it. Yeah. Just like a person who is poor, they never suffer the loss of money because they don't have much to lose. But when someone is rich, say they lose all their money, it becomes a traumatic experience. So material success leads to ultimately material suffering in the due course of time. That's the nature of this material world. But one can transcend all of that and find what we're looking for on the spiritual platform. And the activities are the same. What are the activities? To hear and chant the glories of the Lord, to remember the glories of the Lord. And they're unlimited. Maybe we don't like certain pastimes or not attracted to certain pastimes, but the Lord comes in so many forms. He comes as Ram, like Ram Leela. People spend days just listening to Ram Leela. It becomes so, what we say, absorbing to hear the pastimes of Chandra as he performs his activities to rid the world of material dangers and teach the principles of what is an ideal king from the perspective of the Supreme Lord. So all of the Lord's activities are transcendental, and they're decorated with so many alankaras, so many, when we say, ornaments of feelings of happiness, transcendence, peace, joy, and ultimately even transcendental knowledge. So the Acharyas have worked so hard to give us all of this. So please take advantage of that. Come together and hear and chant the glories of the Lord as much as you possibly. Do it in your families. Do it in small circles. Come to the temple. Hear it as much as you can. Because the more you do it, the more you become part of it. It's just like the more you take that medicine of sugarcane, the more the disease of material energy goes, and all the natural happiness or the natural sweetness of that same medicine now manifests as its pure, sweet nectar. This is Krishna consciousness. It's nectar. It's not just a way to somehow or other worship the Lord. It actually is sweet. Very, very sweet. So we can take advantage of it. And Krishna, he comes in this transcendental form of Sham Sundar. What is he doing? He's not working. He's playing. He's inviting us. You want to play with me? Come on. I'm here. He's playing on the flute. And he's singing. He's in a dancing pose. He's with Radharani. He likes girls. We like girls too, right? So we get the same propensity from Krishna. Girls like boys, boys like girls. That's where it came from, the spiritual world. It's manifested here in this material world. But there's a few, what we say, built-in suffering elements in that. But here on this, Krishna is saying, come back to me. You can sing with me. You can dance with me. You can play with me. You can eat with me. You can enjoy life eternally. But we think, boy, that's so hard. It's easier to go to work. Not really. If we take time, these things become, and this verse really illustrates, it's one of the most fundamental statements about how this material energy has no effect on one who hears and chants the glories of the Lord. And this you see in this world, what are people trying to do? They're trying to push back suffering. They're trying to bring in happiness, but they don't know how because they use the wrong elements. It automatically happens when we bring Krishna in our life through the process of Shravanam Kirtanam. It's that simple, but we have to take it regularly. If you have a disease, you have to take the medicine according to the doctor. So what is that medicine? Satatam kirtayam tomam. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, every day, as much as possible, hear and chant the glories of the Lord, worship the Lord, chant the holy name of the Lord, and ultimately one will go back home, back to Godhead. Jai Sisi Radha Sham Sundar Ji Ki Jai. Okay, so can we, Premananda, should we have time for questions? If anyone wants to ask. We can take one or two questions. Yeah, I'll be happy. I mean, to continue afterwards? Yeah, sure. That's fine. But let's see if there's anyone who would like to ask a question or request a correction. Yes, Gopal. Do we have a microphone?
Hare
Hare Krishna.
We have one here.
Yes. Maharaj, thank you very much for such a enlightening, inspiring talk. I was just reflecting, you said something how Maharaj Parikshit was so thirsty, so he succumbed to the thirst in some ways and put the dead snake around the sage. But then later on, when the 9 cantos finished, when Shukadeva Goswami asked him, would you like some water? Would you like some food? And he says, no, I don't want any water. My thirst is completely gone.
Yeah, he just wanted to hear more, that's all.
So the effect of the hearing was so powerful that the very thing that in some ways brought him in that situation, he was completely overcome by it.
Yeah, the statement here, Prabhupada makes the statement, I read it in the purport. Where was that? Yeah. An injection taken intravenously affects the whole body. Oh, here. A highly potent drug injected intravenously acts at once on the whole body. The transcendental topics of the Lord injected through the ear of a pure devotee of the Lord can act very efficiently. So the hearing process is complete. Simply by hearing, one is becoming what we say energized with that transcendental sound vibration automatically. Seeing is limited. Touch can be what we say dubious. Can't really understand that simply by that particular sense. But hearing is direct. Hearing is the most, therefore it says, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, just hear about me. That's all. Just hear about me more and more. Thank you. Anyone from the ladies' side? Any questions? Yes.
Maharaj, thank you so much for coming to Naperville. Thank you for blessing us here in Naperville, even though you were at the Rath Yatra earlier today. So very grateful for you still taking out time for us, even though it's been a very busy day. This question is not related to the class you gave, but I'm hoping that you'll be willing to answer.
Sure.
I'm looking ahead as we prepare for the time when our own spiritual masters will not be here. A question I have for you, Maharaj, is how do you keep your connection with Srila Prabhupada alive after all these years of not being in his physical presence?
Well, Prabhupada answered that question even while he was still here. When Prabhupada was asked, the question was, how can we associate with you, Srila Prabhupada, once you're gone? He said, read my books. He said, I'm in my books. You can connect with me through transcendental sound vibration. So these words printed on paper are actually transcendental sound vibrations coming from the pure soul who's realized what he's speaking, not just theoretically. So we can connect with Prabhupada by hearing. I'll give you an example, and it's a personal example. I don't want to sound like I'm special, but this happened to me. I was reading Bhagavatam, and they used to call me the non-resident resident of Chicago. Because I was supposed to be the resident in Chicago, but I was never here. But sometimes I was. So when I was here, I was reading the Bhagavatam, and I was reading for about 2 hours, just straight reading. Then something happened while I was reading, and it was quite mystical. All of a sudden, I heard Prabhupada's words coming in the form of what I was reading. In other words, I heard his voice speaking what I was reading from the pages. I was like listening to a recording of Prabhupada. And I kept reading, but I wasn't reading anymore. I was listening to Prabhupada's voice, speaking the words that I was reading on the pages. It went on for a while, then it stopped. It never happened to me again. So I deduced that this Prabhupada said, yes, I told you, I'm in my books. It's not a theoretical concept, so he's there personally. Because the pure devotee is not relegated to any time, place, or circumstance. They're there in the hearts of the devotees. They're there to guide us and direct us simply by a little effort on our part. So as Krishna is always there with us, so the pure devotee is always there to guide and to, you might also say, correct us in our practice of devotional service. Yeah. That's never lost. But we have to make that effort, that's all, to hear and to understand as we hear. And then the next step is to hear, to understand, and to apply. Apply the knowledge once you understand it. And then when you apply it, the next point is you realize it. Realization comes from application. You apply that knowledge, you start to understand. It becomes part of you. It's no longer something separate. You start living what you're learning. And then from that level of realization, the last stage is you actually develop spiritual qualities, skills, abilities. You actually your consciousness becomes Krishna consciousness. So yeah, it all goes back to hearing from the spirit, the pure devotees, spiritual masters. It works. That's how we stay connected. They're connected through sound. He who reasons ill say that Vaishnavas die, when thou art living still in sound. Vaishnavas die to live, and in living, spread the holy name around. So great souls, they don't disappear. They become unmanifested on the physical form, but they still are there within the hearts and minds of their devotees who hear about them. Because spiritual is not limited by time and space. Material is, but spiritual is unlimited. Okay, anything else? And I think I was told to take 2 questions. I did. So I think we're going to.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for being here with us, that too after this rainy, long day and participating in the Ratha Yatra and still traveling to Naperville. And
There was 2 kinds of rains today. There was the water and there was the holy name. Raining of the holy name.
thank you so very, very much. We are all really, really happy that you are here and you took the time to come all this way. And we are very grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
So I'll just make some quick announcement for the sponsors, and if you could please give them the prasadam.
Oh, distribute?
Yeah, I will call their names.
Okay.
So today Sunday feast sponsors, Akshay Tonke celebrating Kaira Tonke's birthday. Is the family here? Akshay? Yeah, please come forward if they are here. No? Not here? Okay. Radhe Shri Manikandan celebrating Radhe Shri's birthday. No? Venu Maturi, Shri Adisheshaya and Shri Balaram and family celebrating Father's Day. Please come forward. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for distributing Krishna Prasadam on Father's Day. Really appreciate that. Satish and Lakshmi Yellamapalli celebrating Sri Ritvik Tej's 17th birthday and seeking devotees' blessings. Is he here? Please come. Yes. Hare Krishna, Ritvik. Wish you a very Krishna conscious birthday. Thank you for distributing prasadam today on your birthday. Thank you. And Siddharth and family is seeking prayers and blessings. Shetul and Rimal Patel seeking Vaishnava's blessings for a departed soul. I am assuming this is on behalf of your mom. Yes, please, one of you, please come forward and receive the prasadam. Rimal, you could come too. Please come. Who is there? Yeah, please come. Thank you so much. Your mom was very dear to all of us, and you are continuing to distribute Krishna Prasadam in memory of her, and really it is so very nice of you. Appreciate that very much. So what else? As always, we can only pray to Krishna for the spiritual well-being of all these families. They are very sincerely trying to distribute Krishna Prasadam on behalf of their family members on all type of occasions. And let us all chant the holy names of Krishna. Please repeat after me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Distributing Krishna Prasadam is a very, very important service. And for all of you who have been always doing this, I want to express my deep gratitude. And for the coming weeks, if you want to do so, please contact Abhay Prabhu, who is standing there at the back. Today's Sunday feast cooking was a one-man show. It was Ganga Narayan Prabhu is the only cook today because everybody else picked up and left. And so I don't think the cleaning team is here. I don't think the serving team is here either. And so I'm not asking anyone in particular, but those of you who get really inspired from your heart, you want to help out, please go there and check with whoever is there. What is it that you can do before you start taking prasadam? And once again, I just wanted to thank His Holiness Chandra Mouli Swami Maharaj. And if anybody would like to meet with Maharaj, I think we could arrange that in the conference room. Thank you again. Thank you all. One more thing I forgot. That is, there is a Gita camp, children's Gita camp, 2 weeks program is coming up. And the flyers are there outside. If any one of you or your family, friends, anybody want to enroll the children, please collect the information. It is also on our website. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Oh yeah, there is a lot of programs coming up. Gopal Hari, please come here. He is going to speak about it here.
I just wanted to tell everyone that the nectar continues. Tomorrow evening, we have a very special program at the temple. We have His Holiness Chandra Mouli Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Marg Swami Maharaj, the Swami who walked across the United States, and the entire bus tour of wonderful youthful devotees who put together wonderful dramas and musical arrangements. It all happens tomorrow at 6 o'clock, sharp at 6 o'clock here. So please, it will continue. Please come tomorrow. And then we have many wonderful other programs coming up, and you get that in the temple newsletter as well. And in the mornings also, 7:15 a.m., there's Bhagavatam classes tomorrow and Tuesday morning.
Tomorrow also?
Bhakti Marg Maharaj is giving tomorrow, and Chandra Mouli Maharaj on Tuesday. Yes. Srila Prabhupada ki, Krishna Prasadam ki.